It is officially post-Christmas, and we're about to begin the new year of 2025. And of course, like usual, GameStop has brought back buy two, get one. And I took advantage on today's Bargain Game Hunter. So I went to my local GameStop today, which is 2 days after Christmas, because I figured, it's time for the buy two, get one deal. I might as well see what I'm able to put together. And initially my thought was I'm just going to raid the pre-owned retro section. And I found a couple titles that I did grab initially, but as I looked around the rest of the store, I came across quite a few games that looked interesting to me that I figured were worth grabbing. Including two new games that were not part of the buy two get one that are uncommon, and then a bunch of other stuff. So I figure I'll go over those with you today. I also have one game that I picked up from Amazon that's coming tomorrow, so I will include that when it comes in when we do the final recap. So we're going to start off with a couple of the retro games. Actually, we'll just go over all the retro games I picked up. So my initial plan originally was, I wanted to look for retro games that are kind of uncommon and that are pretty decent. I found a few pretty solid ones. Now, when you see the prices, I'm sure you'll notice that they don't exactly line up with what you typically want to do with a buy two, get one, which is why I actually went around the store and made them all line up. But I think I did pretty well with these pickups. We're going to start off with Transformers Dark of the Moon on the Xbox 360. This is one of the later Transformers games. It was made by High Moon Studios, which is a really, really good studio. They used to make some really good games before basically becoming a Call of Duty farm studio for Activision. But yeah, these earlier Transformers games were actually quite good, so I figured I'd give this one a shot. Not too bad. This one, it was disc only. The only reason why I grabbed it was it is a fairly uncommon game. I found a case, and oddly enough, the sleeve that it came in came with stickers, so I put the stickers on the case just so I know what it is. But we have this case, and inside it is Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks on the PS2. Fairly uncommon game. It's a brawler, I believe. It's not a fighting game, but it's a fairly uncommon game, and they had it on PS2 in pretty decent shape, so I figured I'd give it a shot. And then the third retro game that I got, and again, they don't get cartridge-based games very often, so oftentimes when they do have them, I'll typically grab them. And yes, I know I can play this game because I have the Switch compilation that includes it, but I might as well get the original if I can find it for a decent price. We have The Lion King on the Sega Genesis. Of course, cart only, but yeah, it's the original Lion King on the Genesis. Kind of cool little grab there. So now let's get into the more modern stuff. We got some PS4, some PS5, well, one PS5 and an Xbox game, so I think we did okay dokie. So I'll start off with the game that I made an oopsie on. I'll remedy it eventually, but it's a pain in the ass to fix it. We have Scribblenauts Mega Pack on the PS4. I got this game mostly because it was $10. The thing is, I didn't realize I already have it on Xbox, so I'm probably just going to end up trading this in later on down the road, which I know is technically a net loss, but otherwise, I would have to return all three games and rebuy them. And by the time I'll have time to do that, more than likely the buy two, get one will be over. It's not worth it. So I'm probably just going to hold on to this for a little bit, and I'll trade it in eventually when I have enough stuff to trade in to GameStop. But, it happens. Next, a game I've wanted for a while. I've never owned a physical copy of, and now I do. And that is Drive Club on the PS4. This is the game that killed Evolution Studios. They're the team who made the MotorStorm series. There's never been another MotorStorm because Drive Club killed them. Sony was trying to position this to be their answer to Forza on PS4. and it just didn't work. So, I don't know. I wanted to play it. I heard it was decent, but now I have a copy of it, so cool. Next up, I already recently got the Silent Hill 2 remake on the PS5 from Bloober Team, so I figured I'd get another one of their games that they had a physical copy of on PS5, and that is The Medium on the PS5. So another horror game, looks pretty cool. I heard it was originally an Xbox exclusive, but then they later brought it to PS5. I've heard good things about it. I've heard it's pretty solid, so figured I'd grab it a shot, especially on PS5. Then we get to the heavier hitters. These are games that I saw them. They're kind of uncommon, so I figured I'd pick them up all in one shot, and I think I did pretty well. We're going to start off with Bramble, the Mountain King on the Xbox Series X. This was kind of the one standout Xbox game that I saw in the modern section I didn't already have. Looks interesting. It's not a game you see super often pre-owned, so I figured I'd grab it. Then comes this one, and I think I did pretty well with this one. I have, I think, one of the earlier games on 360, but now I have this one. We have Onchambra Z2 Chaos on the PS4. It's a action hack and slash game. Looks fun. Figured it'd be worth a grab. It is a PS4 exclusive, as you can see. So, yeah, figured I'd snag it. Again, not a game you see very often. This was the biggest win. I've seen this game online a couple times. It's not super common to find, and apparently it's worth a lot. So I'm glad I snagged it. We have Death End Request 2 on the PS4. This is looks like a action game, I think. It's an Idea Factory game, which Idea Factory is one of those studios where they release, very Japanese-focused games that tend to be on the smaller print side. They're not quite as small as something like a Limited Run, but they do tend to make games that tend to be, a little harder to come by, especially if you wait on them. This one actually has a really good amount of value, which I will show you when we get to the final recap. But yeah, pretty excited to add that to the collection. I've heard pretty good things about it. And then we got to two new games. One of them is quote-unquote GameStop new, and clearly it's been sitting on the shelf for a while because the sticker imprinted on the box. I did my absolute best to remove it, and I could only do so much. It looked interesting, and I wanted to get a new game because GameStop's doing a promo where if you trade in a game and buy a new game, you get an extra 20%, which I had to trade in because I had my extra copy of Persona 3 Reload that I wanted to get rid of. So I traded that in towards everything, and I got this. We have Class of Heroes 1 and 2 Complete Edition on the PS5. As you can see, there's the imprint of the sticker that I could not get off of the case. But this is two JRPGs. Looks pretty interesting. Figured I'd give it a shot. So, not too bad there. And then this one was more so, I saw it when I was going through the different games. It sounds interesting. And they had a brand new sealed copy. So I'm like, you know what? I might as well grab it. Especially because it comes with a slipcover, which is kind of cool. We have Ugly on the Switch. So, comes in this cool, metallic slipcover. It's a, horror-ish puzzle game. Sounds cool. Figured it was worth a shot. I don't know if I'm going to keep this sealed or not. I might. We'll see. Because it does look really cool with that. I mean, I'm not getting rid of the slipcover, but, So, yeah, that is everything I got from GameStop for the Buy Two Get One. Like I said, I do have one more game coming in tomorrow, so we'll talk about that tomorrow.